Let me introduce to you now and warmly welcome into our virtual space right now the Associate Professor, Mr. Chris Liassidis. Chris.
Hello, hi there. Good afternoon to all. Thank you for the very nice introduction. I guess, I have to start sharing my screen because I'm an academic, even though I won't get people bored with academic stuff. We're here for practice. And I hope this is what I will deliver to you. So just give me a little sec to share my screen. And
it's coming through, I'm sure. Here it comes.
And now, is that now? Why can't I share it? Give me 1 second. I guess now you can see it.
We're doing well, almost. We had your presentation up. Who is the speaker? But you just need to go onto the full screen slideshow mode. You're nearly there. We'll get there. We will. It's coming through. It's not always easy. It's certainly not always easy. We're doing this through the whole week, and
can you guys see my PPT?
I think we can all see it. It just seems to be in. If you put it on the full screen mode.
That's better.
No. If you put it on the full screen mode, like
I'm in my office mode, and I have like 2 monitors, and that's probably what is.
It's even worse. But hey, it's okay. Go back to what it was, and then just keep it as it was. Maybe.
Really.
Yeah, let's try. I mean, it's fine.
So can you see it now? Because I'm.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah, we see. No, we see everything. It doesn't look great. Listen, okay. If you're happy to do it without, can you do it without the slides?
Not really. I mean, because I get into some technical stuff.
Okay,
maybe I should do like this.
Something's coming back now. There we are. Listen, as it is now, we can see the main screen, and on the left we see all the individual slides. Keep it like this, right? And this will be fine. Okay.
Yeah, maybe better.
Oh, you've done it. That's it. We're good.
Okay.
Good to go.
Now, apologies for this. Technical issues, or it's my silliness. But I'm here to deliver something to you. And it's all about engaging our employees, okay? As HR managers, we always find this as a problem we deal on a daily basis, and this is a killer. There are various ways one can achieve maybe engagement and loyalty. And the issue I will kind of discuss with you, or maybe show you a direction towards doing it, is this thing that we call gamification. Apologies if some of you, or a lot of you, are actually applying gamified activities in your organization, and I hope you are, because gamification is a relatively new little toy in the hands of HR managers and also marketing managers, to be honest. It's been around for maybe 10, 11 years now. So I will try and explain what is gamification, why do we do it, and, if I have time, given the technical difficulties just now, to show you what I've done with it and how successful it was. So, it's all about gamification. Okay, a relatively new word. You try to type it in your word processor, and you get that little red squiggle underneath. Means it's something new that even our word doesn't really get it. Nevertheless, it's there for a reason. So, what is this gamification? Gamification, we say, is the process of taking something that already exists and integrating game mechanics into it in order to motivate participation, engagement, and loyalty with whoever plays this gamified activity. Okay, so to understand gamification, it's good to really see what is there in games that we like. So it is about amplifying the effect of an existing core experience by applying the motivational techniques that make games so engaging. So if you tell somebody come and work, they will say, ooh. If you say, let's play a game, they're all engaged. When you gamify high value interactions with customers and, in our case, employees and partners, we could be, associates or suppliers, you drive more, of course, sales, stronger collaboration, better return on investment, and who doesn't want that? Deeper loyalty, higher customer satisfaction, and many, many, many other things. So, gamification is there, or it's a stolen idea from what games are like. So, we need to understand how games work and what clever game developers include in their games to make these games so interesting and engaging. So, gamification is built upon 10 primary game mechanics, okay, proven to motivate and engage users, and may use any combination of these techniques to accomplish our business goals. It's all about entering to win something. So what are these 10 game mechanics? And let's hope that in our attempt at workplace, we better involve all these 10 game mechanics. So one is what we call fast feedback. Fast feedback and actions. In any game we play, whether that's Monopoly or Stratenko or PlayStation or Nintendo or cards or backgammon or even sports, they are all based on this fast feedback. You don't wait forever and ever to achieve something, but you achieve little by little goals. If it's a tournament, if it's one round, second round, third round. You see, when we try to evaluate at the end of the year employees, this happens every, 12 months. By then, people, do not care, or at the beginning of the year, they don't care that their performance will be assessed, evaluated by us. So by doing this fast feedback to that, we keep them more into the focus. Another game mechanic is transparency. They all know where they stand. Like any game, you play, it's 4, 6 of us, and you say, ooh, I'm second, I'm not first yet, or I'm coming last. So this transparency is obvious in a gamified activity within an organization too. The third mechanic is goals. We need to have short-term and long-term goals. That's why the long-term goal is to win or to be amongst like the top 3, 5 people who will get a prize. But you need to achieve that by completing very, very, very short-term goals. Like in any game, we have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 17, level 1,300. And this keeps us going. It's the sense of achieving these little goals that keeps us engaged. The fourth mechanic is what we call budgets, indication of achievement. Yes, my boy, yes, my girl, you are here and you are bound to win. Or maybe you should try a little harder. The fifth one is leveling up. It's status within a community. I don't know how to say this so that I won't sound somewhat, but a number of our employees, I wouldn't say nobodies, but, they feel that, they're just ordinary people. And all of us are ordinary people. Now, in a gamified activity, we give them a sense of involvement, a sense of belonging and community where they can really shine up. And that's good. Ooh, I came first. I was the second in that tournament or in that game. The next mechanic is onboarding. So we need to make it attractive, interesting, with short missions, as explained earlier. And it's all about having some kind of competition. where am I compared to others? And it's good to look down to them and say, I'm ranked first and you guys are ranked lower. Collaboration. In many games, of course, we need to join forces with a partner or 3, 4 of us. If we play football, like what's happening presently with the World Cup, it's 11 people trying to do something good. So in teams, we can use gamification at work. And points. We need to have tangible, measurable results on the players' achievements. What do you get? I reached 1,000 points or miles or anything. And the last, and to me, the most important game mechanic, and that's why we all like playing games in our leisure time, is this thing about winners and losers. Mainly, there is a winner, but so what? But of course, no one is a loser. So you have nothing to lose, but try to maybe win. So these are the 10 little ingredients that any game developer needs to bring together in order to make a game attractive. So let's bear this in the back of our heads as managers, because these are important things to involve in our activities. So it works because it leverages, we say, the motivations and the desires that exist in all of us for some kind of reward or some kind of an extra reward other than our salaries and our commission and our bonuses. When combined with the latest research on motivation and the big data generated by user interactions, gamification empowers our companies to create true loyalty, customer-wise, but of course, most importantly, from our employees. So, now, that's a very funny picture I'm putting there. There are some things written on the top and others on the bottom. Like under the line, we see, let's say, the boring stuff or the routinized stuff in people's everyday lives. And above the line, we see what is of more interesting for us. So, what do we deal with every day? We need to go to the gym, take kids to school, think about money, running more errands, work, pay taxes, worry about bills. I'm stressed already by just reading them out to you. How about turning all those things into more interesting stuff, like what we see here, above the line? We love travel, listen to music, watch movies, cooking, some of us, being on the beach, enjoy time with friends, having more money, eat, and above all, games. So the idea is to bring all those boring stuff from below the line to what we see before us now. So literally, we can gamify most of business activities. Now, let's look at some companies that do use, well-known companies and multinationals. I'm sure, maybe you guys work in smaller organizations and you do use gamification. But look there: Microsoft, Nike, Amex, Samsung, Deloitte, Cisco, Foot Locker, etc. All these, Dell, they are companies that believe in gamification. They have applied and still applied, and apparently it works for them not to have stopped it. There are even other companies like Ramada Hotel and Resorts or A1, Salesianer, the well-known Austrian company. Like many companies have done that. So why can't we? So it's no rocket science. Gamification is a way to meet our business goals. So how do we start? It would be good for any HR manager if, it is agreed amongst top heads in the company to go for some gamification, to follow this so-called 6-step method. It's a process with 6 stages that if we play our cards right in those, we're bound to have a successful and interesting gamified activity. So the first is we need to have a real goal. We need to have a problem, but you know what I mean by problem, something that we could improve. Otherwise, gamification is pointless. It's like a company saying, because I have money, I need to do communications, I need to advertise. If you don't have an objective and the goal, that's, money thrown up in thin air. So we need to identify the problem. It could be productivity and want to increase it, maybe more enhanced teamwork, or truer and better loyalty, or selflessness. And I'm sure us people we do face such cases on a daily basis and en masse about selflessness, or selfishness that we want to change. So some employees, they do not really work for the bettering of the whole, but they have more personal motives for something. So as soon as we identify the problem, we're set. Second step, we need to understand the behavior. So how to reach this goal that we want to improve our productivity or to make our employees more loyal. And when we understand that, this brings us to step or stage number 3. We need to figure out who the people involved will be. So who's in this activity I'm planning for them? We need to understand the player personality and the roles. Who are they? So are they, our partners? Are they suppliers? Are they frontline employees? Are they Generation X, Y, Z, Omega? I don't know. We're fed up with all these generations these days. So when we know that, we understand their mentality. And going back to good old Manslow, we understand what are the needs they have, what we can engage them in some, let's say, work activity with exactly what their mindset is like. And that's stage number 4. We need to create some dynamic issue there. Why would they participate in this idea of gamification? So we need to motivate them somehow. We need to establish to them and tell them what will they gain, and think of a fun way to do that, maybe by collecting points or going to events or money or prizes. Anything is possible. And of course, when we do that, we go to the mechanics. What will trigger their action? So again, based on who we be involved in our gamification, we need to think of what would really click for them. It could be through apps or websites or something related to social media, or with simple like literature, like leaflets or events, or, it would be good talking about the grand prize. Now, you say whoever wins this, of course, you meet goals in doing that, and I will explain in a second what we mean. A free trip, you and your spouse and your kids to Dubai for 5 days, all on the house. Well, that is an incentive. Or it could be recommendations, and many companies do that. If this winner employee decides to ever leave a company, the CEO himself or herself will give a personal recommendation. It's going to be a bloody good one. Apologies for my French, for them. And this opens a lot more doors for them to find their next employer. And the 6th one is looking after it being, yielding positive, successful results. And here is the catch, and maybe I'm presenting gamification something really, really clever, and it is, but it's time consuming. And there is a catch. If you try to do that in a relatively sizable organization, maybe you need to engage or assign to this activity 3-4 of your employees in the HR department to look after it day and night, maybe not day and night, but maybe for 8-10 hours a day, look after this activity. So it is a little costly. So we have these 6 things. We know the 10 game mechanics. So how can this be applied? Now, this was, in a nutshell, what we need to know. How can we apply it? Well, it's up to you guys to think of where, we can make in organization employees work for us, but as they work, they feel that they do not work, but they are in a competition, in a very modest, nice competition that 1 or 2 or 3 of them could be the winners. Others may not be winners, but as I said in the beginning of this, so what? So I got interested, to be honest with you, with gamification, and then I was involved very heavily into that. When was it? 5 years ago, a couple of years before COVID pandemic started. I was invited, my wife and I, to attend this big workshop in Riga in Latvia, and there, I really understood what is gamification. And of course, from there on, it became my own little baby, and I hope it's growing. And that's what I'm telling the companies that I advice on certain things of what to do. So I had to apply it as well. So let me tell you my little case about this. So I said gamification is good for any kind of employee. But what about seasonal contingency workers? What maybe one could call part-time workers, because they're not always with us. We tend not to have them as loyal as we would like them to be, not as empowered, not as, let's say, productive. So we had to do something. So we did that for contingency workers. In a nutshell, these people, they're with us for 1, 2, 3 months. Think of somebody working in a resort hotel or in a ski resort, or in fields collecting crops, because we need these people for 1, 2 months and then bye-bye. They're unskilled most of the times, but even if they have skills from a previous season that they worked, maybe, yeah, they have the basis, but they're not exactly the skills that we want them in our own specific organization. So we tried gamification, basically actually was 5 hotels. Hotels are, resort hotels. And as you can see, they were based in Greece, Cyprus, and Ukraine. And this seasonality aspect works very, very well in applying it in the hotel environment. Of course, it can be, as said earlier, it's doable for supermarkets, in fields, in restaurants, in any horeca organization when they need extras at certain periods of time. So now, I promise I won't sound like an academic, but let's go back and understand certain things. We're all after performance, and this is what we HR managers look after. We need to understand who to recruit, how to train them, how to look after them, how to empower them in order to do the best they can for the company you work for. So it's all based, and performance, we know, on 5 performance objectives. All our KPIs and balance scorecards are based on these 5 little things. We're talking about cost, flexibility, quality, speed, and of course, dependability. Now, looking at these seasonal workers, cost-wise, for us, it's low, so it's good. Flexibility-wise, that's high, and this is good for us. When we need them, we have them. When we don't want them, they're kind of laid off. Quality, though, wise, they're low, and that is bad for us. Speed-wise, again, that is a low performance objective, because they're not as quick as somebody who works for us permanently. And of course, dependability-wise, they are low. You expect them to come to work one day and they don't show up. You give them a call and they say, well, I decided that I don't want to work for you anymore. And really, we cannot do anything about it. So you see, 2 out of our 5 performance objectives, it's good. The other 3, it's low. So gamification is involved to kind of increase this low part of them performing. So the results, as I said, we applied in different ways in hotels. And we're basically applying this to receptionists, frontline employees like waiters, waitresses, people working in the kitchen, beach boys, beach girls, baristas, bartenders. So that was the whole idea of how to make them serve the customer better. And this is performance that we expect from them, we managers. So we applied this in 4, as I said, it was 5 hotels because the one belongs in a chain, so it's 2 hotels. Now look at the results. Customer satisfaction rating went up by an average of 10%. That is great. If we go to any ratings company like Booking or so, and we can see this happening, this is excellent. And it all happened because our employees, through gamification, they were offering better services to our guests in the hotel. Another interesting thing is miscellaneous spending increased by an average of 27%. I don't know if you guys know what is miscellaneous spending in a hotel. When we have a guest, the guest pays for the stay, 300-400 nights. And this money we already made. Now, miscellaneous spending is how to make the guest give more money to our hotel during his or her stay. i.e. to have a coffee there instead of drinking it outside the hotel, dining or having lunch in a hotel, or using the hotel services, or not taking an external taxi service to take him or her to the airport, but using our own shuttle buses. All this is extra money we can make. And that, compared to the previous 3 years, it was increased by 27%, just because of this tenacity on behalf of our employees through gamification to serve them and like promote services that the hotel has better to them. But the interesting finding is the following. We ask employees to evaluate us as well, and especially seasonal ones. So at the end of their season, anonymous questionnaires filled in by these, part-time workers showed satisfaction towards the hotel, expressing the wish to work in the next season again for our hotel. And the reason, when they were asked, it was the games, because it didn't feel like tiring job, but as a fun thing to do with earnings and looking up to being the winners. But, it's all about the 360-degree satisfaction all around. This is my experience over the past 2 years of actually applying this, besides preaching it to people like you. It's good and it's worked. Like my next slide, it's something funny. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, the biggest craze in the world with collaborative gamification, but it was all about Pokemon. Do you remember Pokemon? What was this thing with Pokemon? And I'm saying this and I'm smiling, and I really enjoy that, because what a great idea that was. Pokemon, or like Nintendo, they came up with this idea, I don't know, like hiding Pokemons virtually somewhere in the world, or in many places in the world. So that was exciting for people. It was exciting for the corporation as well. But all these other corporations, they were like asking Pokemon, let's say the company, please put some Pokemons in my restaurant, in my cafeteria, in my public place, in my stadium, in my hotel, and for people to come looking for Pokemons. But of course, this increases sales. It makes them satisfied. I get more publicity. And, we went all crazy for a couple of years looking after Pokemons. And they still exist, but maybe we're not so crazy about it. And that was based on a real game that many, many enterprises, and when I say many, I'm talking literally speaking millions, made something good out of it. So it's what we call a 360-degree approach to gamification. Now, having said this, try to think how you could apply it on your company or your specific department. It takes nothing. It's just like try harder, and I will be monitoring your process on a weekly basis, and this will last 5 weeks, and the winner will get the latest smartphone on the planet or something. It could be anything. Or if you do it with executives, you get the newest corporate or company car, which is a good German expensive car. And you can do that on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly basis. Don't leave it to evaluate people or check them up or excite them in terms of performing better for doing it once every 12 months. That doesn't really work. It's not bad, but we're here to learn about contemporary stuff. And on this note, I don't think there is anything left for me to say, but maybe a very big thank you to you, and another thank you, and yet another thank you, and maybe all 3 thank yous together. If any one of you would like to find out more or like contact me, here is like how I am, let's say, spelled in social media. So please be my guests. And I think I'm done.
Fantastic. Wonderful. That's great to hear the insights. We've actually got at the bottom there a couple of questions coming in there.
Oh boy, I have to like read them out. Okay, no. Am I okay? So it's after my time started.
I can ask it if you want.
Who said amazing masterclass? Right. Whoever get that, if you were my student, I would say extra marks, okay? So can you advise us on what we can implement in regards to gamification of internal processes at this moment with limited resources? Actually, okay, talk about limited resources. Don't think that you need to spend 50, 100,000, let's say, euros to do this. It's all about good planning. So remember the 10 mechanics. Make it interesting. Make it step by step. Make it like not to feel bad if somebody participates out of the 20, 30 people, let's say, participating, not to feel bad because they did not win. Just make them be engaged in order to attract their attention, to try harder than they normally do. And this is probably my advice to you.
Listen, Chris, that's where we're going to wrap up, just because of time. Thank you so much for those insights. We got through the technical difficulties, and we forgot those, in fact, as you were sharing your insights. Again, you're listening, you're curious, you'd like to know more. I'm sure just find Chris on LinkedIn, pop his name in LinkedIn, find him, connect up. Start those conversations going forward as well, and I'm sure he'll be pleased to connect up with you. Listen, Chris, thanks so much, and again, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.